Good morning, everybody. Grand Rising. And this was a wild berry bush that took off a while back. I'm just going to talk about a few things, and so I just wanted to show you that you can see like where these brown sticks are. Okay, these they'll produce for a while and then they'll die off, and I'll kind of show you. So like you can see here, like it's brown and stuff, and the new shoots will look like this color, which eventually they'll turn brown. Okay, and usually during berry season you have about maybe 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks to pick them, and they really start coming out like the first like week and a half, right? So I'll give you guys here, we'll come back to normal. So that's a shot, and these were all wild and they just started taking off. And these whips too, I'll just talk about a few things if I remember them. These whips will shoot off and then eventually they'll come down and they'll start hitting the ground like this, and then they're going to root with another shoot, and then those shoots will take off and stuff like that. Now you can see here, this is a dead branch, and oddly enough, you can always tell by the leaves, right? So, and the clusters of the berries, right? So that's just a sign that things are dying. Otherwise, those berries will be rather well spread out, I guess. So I'll just show you these, you know, stuff like that, right? So this, you can see here that this was a new shoot that took off, and that main whip, this whip here, is going zoom, zoom, zoom. And so even though these are like, they start turning like that brownish color, they're not dead. Like, this is a new shoot, but after a while you'll see where the leaves look like what I showed you. So I'll just take you on a quick tour here, tell you some things that I've been doing. And this was a spot where we had more berries last year, so I ripped out all the bricks and stuff, and well, we had a pile of bean seeds. So I just decided, well, my buddy decided he'd drop them there, and that's about that. So next year though, this will be grass there and stuff, and the dog's leash won't be getting caught on a berry bush. This is a sumac tree that he planted maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I'm not sure. Anyhow, it's huge. Then I'll show you this. I've actually, over the years, I've whippered snipped this by mistake a couple of times. And anyhow, though, you can see, let's into the, so you can see here. So this is our blueberries, and this will get bigger. You know, this will get huge, and but that's when these mints. And same here, ripped out these bricks and stuff. And this one though, I think I'll leave. I don't want to disturb it. This is another berry bush, and usually, a lot of the times, the birds get to the berries, right? So I just want to give you guys a heads up, but don't think you won't get berries. So that was another raised garden. Myself, the only time I like raised gardens is if there's a frost. But the only problem I think with raised gardens, people, is like, a good thing is that chances are they'll never flood. But the bad part is the soil dries up very fast, and even though the soil's rich and all that stuff, and you know, so that's that. So we got some beans, we've got some onions, and unfortunately I didn't plant some carrots. I wish I would have. Another little bean patch. Got some water barrels here, some rain barrels, whatever you want to call them, right? And these there, and then usually I attach a hose and I run it into that one. I'll get a better setup. If you're wondering why I have a spoked rim and a screen with bricks on top, is because the birds will land in there and they'll die in that. And sometimes too, that water is really cold at the beginning of the season, right? So that's another berry bush. We'll come up to that. There's different berries in this one. There's ones that look like that. And then we'll get back to, here's another one that we planted, and I had to clear all this out because a lot of it was dead and stuff, so I cleared it out. And then you can see we're coming back to these color berries again. And but I've already here, I'll show you kind of a ripe one there. And you can see they're getting ripe when they're purple. And you have to be super careful with these, people. I'm going to show you the thorns on these things, man. They'll rip your skin open like a knife, okay? So I just want to share that. So that's that one. That one's taken off. This is another one. Let's go zing-a-doodle. Boom. And so you can see them up close, and that's what they start looking like. So anyhow, let's come over here. So originally I think this was like 1,640 square feet of garden space. So that's a lot of weeding. So while we're talking about weeding, I take all those weeds, and I hear a lot of people saying, oh, throw them in the garbage and they're weeds. And why? This stuff makes compost, right? And so, this compost and stuff, and like if you go say 60% green and 40% soil and you mix it in, well, then what happens is you're going to get like rich black soil, okay? And the birds really like that because they come and they get the straw and the dust and all that stuff, right? And they'll build their nests and stuff with that. So these are some peppers that we planted. Give you a shot. And we got some coming off, stuff like that. So talk about a few things. A lot of this stuff I start from seed. These were purchased seedlings that were already started, those and the tomatoes. But these are the cucumbers. I guess we'll just zoom. So we'll magnify that. So these are the cucumbers. And then we've got this lettuce here. Well, anyhow. So they can climb that. And so I planted a few seeds, and I lost a few, which was to be expected. And I was late planting too. So, and something else I want to talk about, people. What happened was a while back, let's go right here. These trees here, okay, like that's a huge, here, let me back this up again. So that's a huge tree, and you can see these monsters. So Buddy's this summer started cutting off some limbs because he had to, because they were starting to reach the house and stuff, believe it or not. That's how long these suckers are. I'll give you a better shot. And like, they're getting huge, you know what I mean? I'll show you all the trees around here. Like, look at that, right? Now I'm on normal magnification, right? So everything's taken off. Like even that tree, well, the branches were going into the garage and into the clothesline, and so all that had to be trimmed. These are artichokes, and oddly enough, these artichokes here, we'll see if we can back up here, they grow in straight lines, okay, which is really cool because you can use them for hedges, right? And apparently I think it takes about 5 years there for the artichokes to turn out real good. Sorry, I'm filming something else, meandering. Then I got the tomatoes. These will be softball sized tomatoes. They're beefsteak tomatoes. And you can see too where, like over here, sorry, something I forgot to tell you was there's not much shade in this part of the garden. So the whole day the sun's rising that way, coming around, and until it comes to those trees, that's about the only shade. But then we start zooming that way, and you can see how everything's open up for the sun. So it's all beaten down on the garden, right? Which it's too much sun for like cucumbers and stuff. You kind of want like half a day's sun, and then the rest is just shade, right? But it's a natural bright white light, right? So the tomatoes, stuff like that. Zoom in, So yeah, just a fast shot. We won't talk too much about that. Another pile of weeds that I'm going to throw on that pile. And something else. All this dirt used to be, let's come over here. I'll show you something. So for like newbies and stuff, all this dirt, like the soil has turned brown now, but I've never like got a truckload of soil. Originally when I started with this soil, it was clay, believe it or not. A lot of this was all clay, chunks of clay. And I literally broke this sucker all up. I ripped the grass off by hand, and this was maybe 5 years ago. And, and eventually that soil, like I haven't even, we've thrown leaves in here, mixed leaves in with the soil and stuff. But you can see how it's all coming back, and it's all, oops, stepping on a tomato, and it's all coming brown again, right? So you don't have to like all these people, oh, let's just buy this and buy that and like do it right. And even the compost pile, I don't buy any crazy, I don't mix it with a shovel and stuff, and that dirt will turn into gold like by a year or 2 or 3. These berries here, these suckers, are the most delicious things ever. And well, they're all awesome. That's all I can say. So me and the dog have been going hard. She's quite the little berry picker. There's another berry tree of some sort, right? And that thing there, the berries keep dropping off and keep dropping off, and so it keeps spreading out. And like I say, and you'll notice too, when the leaves of the plant start really fanning out, that's what protects leaves, gives shade for like all the little babies inside, right? So it'll give like shade to all the little babies. And that's when you know like plants are really healthy and bushing out. If they're kind of weak and stuff, you know, and like I say, these tomatoes are going to get huge. So anyhow, I decided to drive a primary coil in there, piece of iron pipe with some copper wrapped around it for shits and giggles. The bunny rabbits, you can see they're doing a munch on this, and I mean, yeah, you can cage things up, but you know what, whatever. The rabbits, there's one that the rabbits get, but you notice the rabbits aren't so stupid to tear the whole plant down and destroy it, right? That's a human thing, right? So this is a berry plant, same color as the other one. Hard to see here, but they come out the same color as those light ones. And so I'm going to take that out because that's getting in the way of, let's back up. This is a cherry tree here. Okay, so I just want to share that with you people. And then all those seeds fall off, and then they start dropping brand new single shoots. Here, I'll show you. So they start dropping brand new single shoots, right? But that was all one plant. And well, that's where we put it, right? So anyhow, and then it turned out, I forget what this nut tree is. It just started growing here, but it produces big nuts, and it's not a walnut. I forget what it is, but anyhow. And another shot of all the berries and stuff, you know. So I've been thinning out all these. These ones here, though, I'm gonna leave because they're all brand new shoots. But eventually I will start taking back in, you know, most of this yard again. And, you know, you can see here too, I was talking about the dead stuff earlier. And that dead stuff too, supposedly you don't want to be burning it and throwing it into an ash pit and mixing those ashes in with your soil, right? So, okay. While we're on it, this is a whole pile of ash that I mix in with the soil out of the fire pit here, and then like these are all the tree branches and everything that I've been removing. And if I'm not mistaken, this is a lilac bush, and I'll come close. And so there was all this dead stuff. Let's go. Yes. Okay, so there was all this dead stuff here. And so I've been sawing it off and cleaning it because you get caught with the lawnmower and stuff. And I think it's a lilac of some sort, right? So I'll back this. I think that's a lilac. And anyhow, just cleaning things up. It's, you know, it's a huge friggin' yard. Like, they all have like super crazy backyards here, right? See this? And people around here too, they're not crazy on fences, right? That's a thing on the other side for the super rich people, right? So anyhow, I just wanted to share that with you. I think that's a good rundown. I've shared a few things with you. And, well, pretty much, people, you know, till then, keep your heads up, your sticks on the ice, and love out to y'all. Namaste. Cheers, bye. Peace.